As we reported earlier, Tuesday's Senate hearing on the PGA Tour's potential deal with LIV Golf is putting one of America's most popular sports under the microscope. Just how popular is golf? Weekend broadcasts for the PGA averaged more than 2 million viewers in the 2023 season, and more than 16 million people tuned in for the final round of the Masters. Those eyeballs, of course, translate into dollars. According to tax filings, 2021 PGA Tour revenue totaled nearly $1.6 billion. But that's no match for Saudi Arabia's $600 billion government-controlled public investment fund, which backs LIV Golf. Joining us to discuss the enormity of this possible merger is Brody Miller. He's a golf writer for The Athletic. Brody, thank you for joining us. What stood out to you in today's hearings?
Yeah, I think if you start with the fact that the documents that came out of this showed, for example, that there was a subtle agreement or suggestion that LIV would get rid of controversial golf legend and current LIV CEO Greg Norman. I think that was kind of the biggest news in a way of the day. But so much of this hearing was really, I think, what stood out from it was, one, the fact that the U.S. government is genuinely getting involved in the middle of a professional golf business deal, but also I think one thing that really stood out from it was the stance of Ron Price and Jimmy Dunn from the PGA Tour was essentially that, the PGA Tour was in trouble, that if they did not make this deal, they would have slowly died out, that they would not have had the resources to stay in this fight with LIV. They would not have been able to, survive. And that's why they made this deal. And I think, one, that is a very big acknowledgement and probably the first time they've truly come out and said that. But two, I think that even, funnels a lot of the belief in why this is being looked into, that, the antitrust issues going on in this case. So I think that was probably the biggest takeaway for me. The PGA Tour is basically admitting they were losing and they had to make this deal to survive.
And remind people about that competition that was going on, and because that's extraordinary what you just pointed out, the competition that was going on in the world of golf.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Saudi public investment fund, as you mentioned, has basically, whether you want to call it sports washing or whatever, terminology you want to use, they have been using this massive fund to invest in entertainment, but largely sports. And I think you've seen golf has taken the most attention in that, in terms of they started an upstart golf league called LIV, in which, it's a different format. It's only 3 rounds, no cuts, but primarily the story basically could be boiled down to they offered the biggest stars in golf massive swaths of $100 million, and many of the biggest stars in the game, from Phil Mickelson to Dustin Johnson to Brooks Koepka and Cameron Smith, left. And all of a sudden there's been, over the last 12 to 18 months, a war going on in golf over fighting for the best players and fighting to survive. And we currently live in an environment in which professional golf is fractured, that you only see the best golfers in the world, 4 events a year. And other than that, it is a fractured world. So it is a pretty unprecedented time in American sports. And
I think of all of the people I know who are deep fans of golf, who talk about its tradition and go back to its origins. And so it's striking to have this kind of a radical change in the game. Or let me ask you, how does the golf fan who talks about Bobby Jones and the beginnings of golf respond to this complete change in the game?
Yeah, it's complicated, right? Because there is the obvious political aspect of this that does make it so much more complicated than just people's opinions on golf. But yes, there is definitely a saddened element of kind of what this has done to the golf world, because golf, to your point, is such a sport rooted in tradition, for better or worse. But it's rooted in its records. It's rooted in your all-time greats. Like you said, your Bobby Joneses, your Jack Nicklauses, your Tiger Woods. And I think now all of a sudden this is all thrown up in the air. The idea that how are we going to judge the best golfers who are the greats of the era when they're playing in different leagues? How are viewers going to tune into golf on a daily, Thursday through Sunday and not know who's going to play or who's still around and all these things? It's been a very, very strange time. And obviously there's a lot of, blowback on this proposed, deal to come together. And I think all of those reasons are valid and everyone has their thoughts. But I think the understanding also is them coming together would be better for the casual golf fan, because then you do have the best golfers reuniting again. Yeah. You will have better events. And the strange thing that does kind of get forgotten in this, even though despite all the valid anger toward LIV and the PIF, is that this did force the PGA Tour to make a lot of changes that they were holding off on for a very long time. They increase purses. They negotiated more with their players. They are, creating a system of elevated events to make sure the best golfers are together more events a year. There have been positive changes of this, so it hasn't all been completely negative. But yeah, a lot of changes for the traditional golf fan.
Final quick question is, what do the players, what camps do they split into in their reaction to this?
Yeah, I think the most common is, the Rory McIlroy is, of course, the face of this, basically the face of the PGA Tour at this point, and the most outspoken. And I think where he stands is the most common. Most of the top players would say they are pretty angry about how this was handled. And I think that's worth mentioning. This entire proposed, merger, whatever you want to call it, was completely kept secret from the players until about 10 minutes before. And that is unprecedented because unlike, say, the NFL, pro golfers are the governing bodies. They are the team owners, and they were not made part of this discussion. They are going to, combine these leagues. So they are angry. These are players that have turned down $100 million or more, that have been asked to be brought out as the face of this fight for morality against the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. And then this happens and they feel they've been burned. But I think those same players, now that a month has passed and have been in conversations with PGA Tour officials, Rory McIlroy being my example, most have kind of come to a place of, I am angry about this. I am angry at the PGA Tour. But I do think this is generally going to be good for the game to have this money as part of golf, to have this funding for the tour's hands. I think that is generally where they stand now, but there are a lot of angry people.
Brody Miller, golf writer for The Athletic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.